Now from WPTV, this is News Channel 5 at 5:30.
Tonight I am calling on Congress to finally close the deadly loopholes that have allowed MS-13 and other criminal gangs to break into our country.
Palm Beach County Sheriff Rick Bradshaw says President Trump's comments are well-founded.
It's an everyday effort that we will go after the gangs that are in Palm Beach County.
He has strong words about why you should care about MS-13 operating here in our communities.
WPTV News Channel 5's Tori Dunnan is live with this exclusive interview. Tori.
Jay and Shannon, the sheriff calls this local gang activity organized crime, and he says he is always looking for more resources to fight it. Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies are armed and ready for gangs.
That's the reason that I bought rifles for every deputy that was here, is because that's the weapon of choice of the gangs.
For years, Sheriff Rick Bradshaw has targeted gangs operating locally, including MS-13.
Who are these people that make up local MS-13?
Well, you know, some of them are here illegally, illegal aliens. Some of them happen to be recruited that are here.
In November, PBSO arrested members after numerous shootings and 2 murders in Lake Worth.
What is your message to people? Why should they care if this isn't their neighborhood?
Gangs, they don't care where they're at. They don't know the border between Lake Worth and West Palm, or Palm Beach Gardens, or Palm Beach County and Broward County. They go to where they're going to go to do what they have to do to make money.
The Justice Department says MS-13's motto, kill, rape, control.
They're dangerous, like all gang members. They're particularly dangerous because they have no respect for human life at all. And they're out to prove that they are the most dangerous group.
Nearly 10 years ago, Sheriff Bradshaw started the gang task force. Now PBSO works within the schools and with boys and girls clubs to save kids from the gang life.
They go after them between 8 and 10 years old. That's where they start recruiting gangs, that young.
He says South Florida poses its own set of problems.
You have the border, the southern border, which is Mexico, but we have a border out here too. It's our coastline.
PBSO's focus to work with Homeland Security and use coastal radar.
You can't put up a wall. It's the ocean, all right? So it's not as easy as addressing the issues that are on the Mexican border, where at some point in time they will be able to close those loopholes over there.
The sheriff acknowledges that people are oftentimes fearful to report any type of gang activity for fear of retaliation. He says there are ways, though, that you can do it anonymously. He says there's an app they have. You can also report it to the gang unit as well. Meantime, he says everyone in their neighborhood should be looking for gang symbols or any unusual activity. We're live, Tori Dunnan, WPTV News Channel 5.
A little warmer across South Florida tonight than last night, but you'll still want a jacket. We have the wind out there, and we're already in the mid-60s. Some spots falling into the 40s for overnight lows. Not much as far as rainfall. The clouds just kind of streaming across South Florida. Bright moon in the sky. Of course, the full moon was last night. And we have right now temperatures, you can see mid-60s around Belle Glade and also mid-60s at the coast. 64 in Okeechobee and a little warmer, not much, down around Hobe Sound and Palm City. So getting into the evening, beautiful night, still breezy. We get rid of the wind tomorrow, and then another front on the way. It arrives for the weekend, keeping an eye on that. Here's a look at our overnight lows. 51 in Belle Glade, about 10 degrees warmer along the coastline. The same difference across the Treasure Coast as the winds come in off the ocean. I'll let you know what that front means for your weekend plans coming up.
Steve, thank you. We have some breaking news coming in out of Palm Beach County, where authorities have just made an arrest in the murder of a man in unincorporated Lake Worth. Deputies arrested 18-year-old Zachary Curtin on what would have been the victim's birthday. Deputies have not specified just what led to the murder, but Curtin is also facing robbery charges in this case. Besides the second-degree murder charges, Curtin will appear in court tomorrow.
A serial car burglar is in custody tonight who may be responsible for up to 100 crimes. Martin County deputies tracked him down from the ground to the air. News Channel 5's John Shaman has our story tonight from Stewart.
The sheriff telling me today this is just a simple case of remembering to lock your car doors.
I got somebody with a jacket at the parking lot.
Well before dawn Wednesday morning, Martin County deputies in the sky locked in on a suspicious person.
And They're checking other cars right now.
For the past week, the sheriff's office has been inundated with car burglary calls.
Mostly cars parked in residential neighborhoods, apartment complexes, and they occur late at night, early in the morning.
Through the office's iWatch program, they had an idea of who they were looking for.
We got a video clip submitted to us by a neighbor.
The burglar had hit several neighborhoods in Hobe Sound and Stewart and was now trying his luck in the Willoughby area, tugging on car door handles.
So he was not going to stop. We think he's probably done well over 100.
But surveillance teams on the ground were ready, and 39-year-old Scott Board of Hobe Sound was apprehended. Board had just gotten out of prison in October.
He was a prolific serial car burglar and a habitual felony violator.
The sheriff says it was a partnership that led to this arrest.
And as a result of that collaborative effort between the sheriff's office and between everyday citizens, we were able to catch this suspect.
If you'd like to take part in the iWatch program, contact the sheriff's office. In Stewart, John Shainman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
I'm Michael Williams at the live desk with new information. FEMA will continue providing aid to Puerto Rico. Florida U.S. Senator Bill Nelson called the decision, the initial one, to stop relief efforts disastrous, saying he was shocked by that decision. Well, after mounting pressure from lawmakers, the agency reversed its decision to stop delivering food and water. It'll go on. Jay?
Michael, thank you. Breaking news right now. A school bus in St. Lucie County has been involved in an accident and students were on board. Authorities say, though, no one was injured. We don't know the extent of the accident. All we know now is that the bus was rear-ended. We're making calls. As soon as we get new information, we'll bring it to you both on air and online at WPTV.com.
You have anything you want to say to the parents that send their kids here?
A Polk County gymnastics coach handcuffed and headed to jail. Deputies say the 21-year-old gymnastics coach uploaded child pornography of children ages 3 to 12. They don't believe any of it included local children, but they are investigating that. Alexander Kachalov worked with children between the ages of 3 and 15 and provided private lessons.
But if a child's ever come home and said that he or she was inappropriately touched, we want to know about that.
The investigation is ongoing with more charges pending. Tonight, deputies are urging parents that they talk to their children.
A woman tied up in her home while men ransacked it. Tonight, police are searching for those two armed robbers on the run. This happened overnight in Lantana in the Gateway Arms community. Police say the victim woke up to find the men in her home. They tied her up and then left her on the floor while they searched her house. And get this, a child was also at the home at the time. Police haven't said if this was random or targeted.
We are ground zero in the opioid crisis, the impact our local task force is having now in the battle against the deadly drug addiction.
Worries over the flu spreading almost as fast as the virus. Now one Florida daycare fights back to keep kids germ-free.
This is News Channel 5 at 5:30. Thanks for making WPTV your #1 most trusted news source.
The flu virus is spreading, and now one Florida daycare has taken some steps to try to fight back. With 600 new cases in Lee County just in the last week, the owner of One Children's Center is purchasing a germ fogger.
So if there is some weird outbreak of anything, we can set the foggers off. They go all night long. No matter how much we bleach and Lysol and everything, these are little guys, and they don't always cover their cough, and they don't always cover their sneeze.
The owners here say they're trying to combat the virus before it can spread.
Well, even a little bit of screen time can hurt your child's brain. 24% of parents report putting their child in front of a screen to give themselves a break. According to a study by Brain Balance Achievement Centers, more than 2 hours of screen time per day can cause a child's brain to shrink and lose volume, potentially causing a brain imbalance. The study also shows too much time spent on a device can make it hard for children to concentrate or make new friends. Well, if you think you and your friends are like-minded, you may not be wrong. A new study says friends tend to have similar brains. Researchers monitored groups of college students as they watched a series of videos. Friends tended to have similar brain responses as each other over people who they had no social ties.
Ahead at 6 tonight, the trial is underway for a man accused of attempted murder for shooting a friend in the face after asking him for a job.
Well, the wind is still up. It's starting to taper off a little bit. We have a partly cloudy sky and still cool out there. Grab a jacket if you're headed out. Another front on the way, the timing for that, and the weekend forecast coming up.
Last night, President Trump touched on the opioid crisis in this country. Here locally, leaders and law enforcement, they're working together pretty proactively, addressing the issue. News Channel 5's Tanya Rogers in our newsroom with the impact that's being made here. Tanya?
Well, Shannon, the task force was put together in 2016. More than a year later, leaders are sharing the force's impact. This is the Ambrosia Treatment Center on Singer Island. Jerry Haffey is the man in charge.
I hate seeing kids die in closets because of scumbag providers.
He's clearly passionate about helping people beat substance abuse. But Haffey knows treatment centers around here have a bad reputation. That's why he joined forces with State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg to lobby for money to fund the Sober Homes Task Force.
We are ground zero when it comes to instances of fraud and corruption within the drug treatment industry. And together with the good players in the industry, we've been able to clean up a lot of the bad actors.
And Ehrenberg says in the task force first year, they made an impact. 44 arrests, 13 convictions and counting. People who try to broker patients on notice.
And so you're seeing that new law, combined with our aggressive law enforcement efforts, has really helped to clean up a lot of the industry. Now, we still have more work to do. But Palm Beach County has become a national leader in this fight.
For Haffey, cleaning up the corruption allows the dedicated treatment centers accomplish their mission.
They deserve the best treatment they can possibly get. They deserve a safe, ethical facility.
The task force includes several Palm Beach County police agencies and law enforcement from local, state, and federal agencies. Tanya Rogers, WPTV News Channel 5.
Today, the doctor fired from the Tampa Bay Rays over allegations of sexual assault fires back. Dr. Michael Riley claims he never abused the woman when she was a teen. Instead, he says he had a romance with her as an adult. St. Pete police are investigating.
The widow of the Pulse nightclub shooter is back in court. Right now, attorneys are arguing whether the gunman's own words should be heard during her trial. Noor Salman's attorneys are asking a judge not to allow the jury to hear phone calls between the hostage negotiator and the shooter the night of the attack. A judge recently ruled that unreleased security camera footage from inside the nightclub can be used. Her trial begins in March.
I'm Michael Williams, back at the live desk. Hundreds of students were evacuated today after a bomb threat was called in to 2 Broward County schools. Police gave the all clear just after 4. Last week, bomb threats were called into 3 other schools in the county. Police are trying to get hot on the trail of the person or persons doing this. We don't know if there's a connection between all of them, but the investigation's ramping up. Shannon?
Michael, thank you. Emergency lines were down in counties across Central Florida and the Bay Area today. A massive Frontier network outage hit Tuesday night, lasted through most of the day. Problems occurred during some routine maintenance, apparently. 911 services are back up and running for most of those areas tonight.
Well, a Florida inmate facing child porn charges is now accused of plotting to kill the judge on his case. Police say the 56-year-old and his mother were using codes to relay messages over a jailhouse phone. Once cracked, investigators say they found he was trying to hire a hitman to kill the judge. He now faces even more charges, and his mother could, too.
That Texas man buried alive during a sand dune collapse. He has died. Police say Lee Goggin was digging a tunnel in the sand when it caved in on him Sunday. He was rushed to a local hospital, put into a medically induced coma. Apparently, the family was on the way to Disney World when they decided to stop at the beach in St. Augustine and let his three kids burn off some energy, as they say. He was digging in the area marked "Do Not Enter."
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
A successful launch for SpaceX today. The Falcon 9 blasted off from Cape Canaveral with a communications satellite for the government of Luxembourg. This mission cleared the way for the Falcon Heavy demo flight set for next week.
And it was a beautiful day for a launch, Steve Weigel.
Yes, it was. Can't wait for that next launch, too. That
right.
Falcon Heavy is a big, big rocket. Should be able to see it easily here in South Florida as long as we have a clear sky. We'll keep you up to date on the time for that. Here's a look at what's going on tonight. Great evening. Temperatures not quite as cold as they were last night. And we have 40s in spots overnight, but not as widespread as it was last night. We're still sitting in the mid-60s. A little burning going on. Looks like rain on the radar, but burning in the agricultural areas back around the lake. And on the Treasure Coast, it's a mix of mid and high 60s after getting above 70 in a few spots this afternoon. The next couple of days are fantastic. We have sunshine, we have less wind Thursday and Friday, and we have another front on the way. This swings through Friday night, early Saturday, and it'll cool us off again, but not much. This isn't a big blast of cold air, but it'll definitely keep a little cool breeze out there late in the day and in the early morning hours. Temperatures overnight fall another 5 to 10 degrees. We will see our coldest weather just before dawn. So between about 5 and 7 in the morning, 49 in Okeechobee. We had lots of 40s last night. We'll hang on to 50 almost everywhere tonight. And there's a look at the hour-by-hour forecast. So dry weather, still a breeze around through 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. But late overnight, the winds drop down a little bit less, and we'll actually be not dealing with the wind tomorrow or Friday. So the seas and the beach conditions really improve for the next 2 days, too. There's 9 in the morning. A great commute, just partly sunny. Temperatures warming up into the low and mid-70s. Friday, more sunshine. Really, the only change on Friday is that we'll see high 70s in spots, and it'll continue to warm up Saturday. I should say on Sunday and Monday. Here's a look at the boaters forecast. We still have the small craft advisory, and we still have a risk for rip currents around. It's still pretty bumpy around South Florida beaches. 4 to 6 tomorrow. We're looking at a light chop. The winds are coming down, but the seas are going to take a little while to subside to where it's a little bit better for swimmers and for boaters. 59 overnight. That's warmer than last night, but you'll want to grab a jacket if you're headed out because there'll be a cool breeze. 75 the daytime high tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. A little warmer than today and less wind, which I know everyone is looking forward to. Friday, fantastic. Mid and high 70s. Again, low rain chances. Lots of sun Thursday and Friday, and not much in the way of wind. But the winds pick up again on Saturday in behind our next front when we drop. So Saturday is the cooler day of the weekend. A little warmer on Sunday. A little higher chance for a shower, a little rain in the afternoon. Doesn't look like a washout. And then we continue to warm up on Monday, too. So kind of a split weekend. Like the cool stuff, Saturday's your day, Sunday for the warmer weather.
Let the Puppy Bowl begin.
Dozens of cute and cuddly athletes will hit the field Sunday for the Puppy Bowl. Defending champions Team Fluff will go nose-to-nose against rival Team Rough in the 14th annual game here. The teams consist of 90 puppies from 48 rescue centers all across the country, including this little guy right here, repping South Florida in the starting lineup. This is Carlo, an 8-month-old pug from Miami-Dade.
Carlo is described as energetic, fun-loving, the perfect player to bring gridiron glory back to the Sunshine State. How about that for a headline here?
Somebody's got to do it, right?
The puppies play on Animal Planet at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Let's see some more of these.
Check them out.
Look at these guys. Look at all of them. Oh, look at this one.
Oh.
Where are the Great Danes, though, Shannon?
So, I don't know if they have a Great Dane.
All right, there we go.
Look at those wrinkles. I'm kind of...
Fullback, we got wide receivers, we have defensive backs. Look at that cutie pie right there.
Oh, my goodness. Of course, and then we have the Super Bowl right here on WPTV News Channel 5 that evening.
Jam-packed lineup on Sunday, starting with the Puppy Bowl.
Good way to kick it off, right? If your iPhone starts getting low battery warnings in the mid-afternoon, you could take Apple up on its offer of a new battery, but there may be an easier way to stop that battery drain.
And a supermoon, a blue moon, and a total lunar eclipse all at the same time coming up at 6. A unique look at this rare phenomenon.
Apple expected to cut production of the iPhone X. They say the demand for the device is much lower than expected. The tech giant will now only make about 20 million. That's half as much as originally planned.
Well, phones do so much these days, from streaming music to navigation, that our batteries often don't run a full 12 hours. Consumer reporter John Matarese shares some secrets to stop your phone from draining so fast so you don't waste your money.
If you have an iPhone, you've probably heard about the controversy over Apple deliberately slowing down batteries on older phones. But some owners of newer phones say their iPhone doesn't make it through the whole day. Well, we found a reason and some easy fixes. Battery running down by lunchtime? Apple will now replace the battery on most iPhones for just $29. But if you don't want anyone opening up your phone, here are 6 things to try first. 1, when your phone says low battery, switch to low power mode or battery saver mode on an Android. That disables updates and syncing and makes that last 20% last longer. 2, turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth when you're not using them. 3, lower the screen brightness to 50%. 4, turn off fetching and automatic pushing of emails. 5, turn off location services unless you're using maps. And 6, avoid extreme heat and cold. But from the Doesn't That Stink file, when none of that works. In that case, contact Apple or an authorized repair shop and ask about a new $29 battery. Unfortunately, if you have an iPhone 5 or 5S, you'll say, doesn't that stink? It's only for iPhone 6s or newer. If your battery still won't hold a charge after you change some settings, it might be a good idea to take Apple up on its offer for a $29 battery. That could fix it and you don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries, WPTV News Channel 5.